Okay guys, this is a video response to Novabug. Now I've not been watching that many videos of the last couple of weeks. I've not been making many and I've certainly not been watching many. Now Novabug, what he's doing here is he's got a thing called a Friday Foursome, a fortnightly show where I set a question for you to answer as a video response. This is aimed to bring the gaming community together, have a bit of fun comparing answers and to showcase those who enter. If you wish not to make a VR, please don't hesitate. Okay, now this week he's asking, what are your 4 most cherished games? Now I've not thought about this at all. I've not got anything written down. I'm just going to do this. This isn't going to be my favourite games. It's going to be 4 games that just like what the question says, I cherish, have fond memories of. Right, the first one is going to be International Soccer on the Commodore 64. That was the first sort of the first video game that really got my attention. I mean, we're talking about early 1983, I think it was. It was on cartridge, and before I got that, you know, there was lots of, you know, crap games. And then I read a review. It wasn't in Zap because Zap wasn't even out at that point. It was in Computer and Video Games, and I read a review of International Soccer, and I can just remember thinking it looked the most awesome game ever. It really did. So I went up to John Menzies and bought it, and I think it was £9.99. I mean, that was quite expensive. Back then most games were about £5, £7. This was almost just under £10, but it was on cartridge. Now I do actually have, hang on a wee second. As you can tell, I don't actually prepare my videos. You just get it right off the bat. There we go, International Soccer. Now, this unfortunately is not the original. I mean, I was going to say stupidly, I got rid of all my Commodore 64 collection way back, because back then you couldn't afford to have more than one system. So I sold. Whoops, there you go. Just drop it. I sold all my C64 collection, including my International Soccer. But this game here, it was just, I would hate to think how many hours I actually put into this game. Now I've got a diary. I'll actually need to read it out. I know Steve Bentley done something similar. I used to keep a diary back in 1983, 1984. 1985 I think it was, actually 1985, and I was reading it fairly recently, and I seem to do nothing else apart from play computer games. You know, other pals are going out and getting girlfriends, and I was Mr. I can't get a girlfriend. I mean, I did have girlfriends, but then I went through a phase of not having any, unfortunately, and I was just playing this game non-stop. Yeah, utterly fantastic game. I was actually playing it fairly recently, and it still puts up a pretty good game of football. But primarily it's the game that really kick-started my love for video games, and for that I'll always be eternally grateful, and I'll always love this game, blockiness and all. So yeah, that game. Second game, now this is funny, this is a game, I didn't actually own the game, and I never even owned the system that it ran on, but that game was responsible for me wanting to get a computer or a games console, which I never got until years later. And that game, in fact I've got it up here, I'm going to let you see it back in a tick. See, should actually be better prepared, but you know what, you know me by now. Yeah, the game that really, it was my mate who, he told me he got this for his Christmas, I think it was, or his birthday, and he came down to my house with it one Saturday, and we played this game non-stop. Now you need to remember, prior to this, all I had was a Binatone TV game, which was crap. It was one of these, you know, Pong, with different versions of Pong. And my friend Nick came down with this thing on a Saturday, and we played it and played it and played it. So this was the first real video game that I ever got to play in the house. And it came for Nick to leave to go home. And I begged him, I didn't beg him, I think I said to him, do you want to come down tomorrow? Now, it was a loaded question because he said yes. Because, in fact, he was one of these guys, I think his dad worked in the oil rigs, and his mum used to go to bingo all the time, and she used to kind of almost want to get rid of him out of the house. She would give him like £5, you know, back then we were getting like 20p pocket money. She'd give him like £5 and then he would disappear for the day. So yeah, I knew he was always looking for somewhere to go. So yeah, when I said to him, do you want to come to my bit tomorrow, I knew full well that he would say yes. And then I said to him, well, to save taking this thing up the road, why don't you leave it here? So he said, yeah, I'll do that. So the minute he was away, I sat and played this game all night. And the game, I don't know if you saw it when I was going past there, the game that I was talking about is this Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. Now I know it gets absolutely canned, I think unfairly. Look at that. Save Centre, £27.99. Yeah, this game gets absolutely canned, saying it's flickery, it's horrible. Now apparently the guy had something like a week to write the game. Now I personally love the game. I played it so much over these 2 days, and at that point, once I'd finished playing it, you know, I realised then this is what I want, and I begged. In fact, I didn't even beg. I knew I was never going to get one, but that's what I wanted for my Christmas. One of these, an Atari 2600. It was £100, and I knew that my mum and dad, there was no way they were ever going to get this. So yeah, but that was the game that I played. I thought, this is what I want to get. This is the game for me. Sorry, this is the hobby that I want to take up. I knew I had to have a video game system, and it was a good few years until I eventually got enough money. But my mum and dad bought me my Texas T1994A, and then I sold that and got a Commodore 64, and here we are, 35 years later. I don't know, not 35 years. Yeah, probably 30 years. Yeah, about 30 years later, here I am making stupid videos about video games. I would never have believed that back then I would be making videos about this very game. So yeah, Pac-Man by Atari on the 2600. Never owned an Atari 2600 until about 2 years ago. Yeah, that's excuse me. That's the second game. Excuse me. I've got tons of games that I love, but games that you cherish. Yeah, the second game, it's obviously going to be pretty much the first system that I owned. The third game, I'm going to say Exploding Fist. Again, it was very much a nostalgic thing. It was summer of '85, I think it was. Back then, I'd left school. I didn't have a job. I mean, I was only just left school. I didn't start working until October, and it was the summer holidays. And I read a review of Exploding Fist in Zap, and I went up to Ray's computer shop, owned by an Italian called Ray Agostini, and he told me he was getting it in next Saturday. Or I think it was a Monday actually. I'm sure it was a Monday because yeah, we were off school at that point. We'd broken up from school. And my mate Grant, who used to come down to my house every single day, as you did back then, and Grant popped in and bought Exploding Fist for me. It was £9.99, and we basically, I lost the summer of '85 playing Exploding Fist. People going about international karate as being the better game. You know what, it probably is, but you know what? I'll always have a soft spot for international for Exploding Fist. Right from the bit that when you're loading the game with tape, you just hear this ear-piercing scream, which usually results in you shitting yourself. Yeah, graphics are quite slow. the movement's not too fluid, and yeah, you could also beat it using one move, but you know what, that didn't matter. I loved the game. It was a utterly, and still is a fantastic game in my opinion. Pardon me. So yeah, it's got so many happy memories for me. So yeah, Exploding Fist, or to give it its full Sunday title, Way of the Exploding Fist, by Melbourne House on the Commodore 64. That's the third one. Number 4. Oh, I can't say like Robotron because it's only been fairly recently in the last sort of 10 years that I've got to know Robotron. I could say stuff like Sensible Soccer. That was one of my favourite games, but is it a cherished game? Don't know about that. It's a game that I love. I'm trying to think. I'm making a video, Eva. I'm trying to think. Now, you know what? I would be lying if I was to come up with a fourth game. There's tons of games, Track and Field, Yeah Kung Fu, tons of games that I love to bits. But cherish games. No, I'm not even going to go for number 4. I could just pick a game at random, but wouldn't be the point of this. So yeah, I'm going to stick with 3 if that's okay. I know I've kind of cheated slightly, but yeah, that is that. Okay guys, right, I'm going to make this a two-parter. There was actually also a VR which I'm going to tell you about in 2 seconds, so I'm going to pause it for a second. Okay guys, right, this is the second part of a VR response. Now I don't know who, is it TrexSpaceStation? I'm not too familiar with that guy, to be honest with you, but what prompted me to do this one is JL76 Gaming. He did a VR to this one, and it's what is nostalgia and why is it important? Is nostalgia important? I'm going to be controversial here, and I'm going to say no, because there are people, believe it or not, that don't get nostalgic. They live purely for the moment or the future, whatever. They look upon the past as being the past, and that is it. So, and I don't think it does them any harm not being nostalgic. I'm the most nostalgic old sod you'll ever meet. It's important to me, but to some people it's not. So for that mind, I would say nostalgia isn't important. It's not something that you can gauge. You either get nostalgic or you don't get nostalgic, I think. What is nostalgia? What was I can't even remember what the hell the question was again. See, that's what happens when you get to a certain age. What is nostalgia? Nostalgia to me, it's something that you don't acquire early on in your life for obvious reasons, because you've got nothing to be nostalgic about. I mean, I never hear my daughter saying, "Oh, I remember back when I was 6" or whatever. It's something that as you get older you definitely become more aware of nostalgia, and I think to me nostalgia is it's having a fond memory, which when you either think about it, do it, watch it, whatever, listen to it, nostalgia it's a powerful emotion. It can be brought on by smell, which I always think is the most prevalent one. Yeah, you've got smell, you've got taste. I mean, there's smells every now and again. I'll smell something and it'll just take me right back. There again, is that nostalgia? Nah, maybe that's not nostalgia. Yeah, probably not. But yeah, nostalgia to me is it's experiencing something that you did when you were younger that invokes a warm, fuzzy glow in your tummy. Now for me, there's probably, well, yeah, there's maybe, I mean, films. I watch certain films. I watch Chariots of Fire, and I'm back with mum and dad at home watching it. You know, loved that. Back to the Future is another film I went to see with my parents, and that gives me, it just takes me back to a happy place. So films is a strong one. Music is a strong one as well. You know, I listen to certain music. I mean, I'm a big Howard Jones fan. I'm not really into any modern stuff that he does. I can't say I've really listened to it, but I listen to like Humans Lib, New Song. Right away, I'm taken back to, when would it be, 1984 or something, watching Saturday Superstore with Keith. Oh no, it was Noel Edmonds. It was Saturday Swap Shop with Keith Chegwin in the basement, and I can always remember the guy that used to do all the mimicking, the sort of the miming for Howard Jones. He popped out this box, and that's when I first heard of Howard Jones' New Song, and you know, that started a sort of a love affair with his music. It's the same with Marillion. I listen to that music. I mean, one of my mates was slagging me, says, have you got nothing that wasn't done in the 80s? And most of my music that I've got is stuff that I listened to when I was younger. So yeah, when I listen to music, it brings back happy memories. In fact, I'm going to tell you something here that's quite personal to me. I was out running maybe about a year ago. It was a Sunday morning. It was early on. In fact, the sun was just rising, and in fact, I mean, my father hadn't long passed away, and I was running, and I was thinking about mum and dad, and the sun was just about to rise, and as I turned the corner to face the sun was rising, and New Song came on by Howard Jones, and I had this overwhelming sort of emotion of happiness, and I burst into tears. And for that split second, my mum and dad were back with me. It was an incredibly to get all hippie, it was an incredibly religious experience. Is that the right word? I don't know, I'm not religious at all. It was really powerful, and but yeah, so that was like the ultimate in nostalgia. But yeah, playing stuff like, I was going on about Exploding Fist, international soccer, you know, some of these things, playing them, playing games, watching films, listening to music, whatever, it just takes you back to a certain time in your life. It's a memory that has been, I'm a great believer that the human being has got RAM and ROM. You've got read-only memory, and these are memories that your brain wants to retain forever. So even when you switch off, these memories will always be there. So things like that, things like spending time with my parents when I was younger and playing these games, that's in my read-only memory. My random access memory is stuff that I do today that I'll probably forget about tomorrow. But yeah, nostalgia to me is doing an action of some sort of description, and it just brings back, it replays the memory, just reliving, doing that action relives the happiness that you felt whenever it was. You know, it could be 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it could be last year. Although nostalgia for me tends to, I don't get nostalgic about stuff from 5 years ago. It tends to be, the older I get, the further back I seem to get, is sort of nostalgic wise. But yeah, that's what nostalgic is for me. It's a warm, fuzzy glow in your tummy when you do something, and it makes you really, really happy. So anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and as usual, thank you so much for watching.